Yo. Open your ears.
Yep.
New narrative.
This the community coalition.
Yo.
Yeah, that's me.
Too long.
Unity in the community.
That's how we rise up. Knowledge as well.
Let's rise up.
No more fighting as individuals.
What we gotta do?
Just a podcast to listen to.
You got a vision?
We got a vision.
Let's make it visible. Fight for it. Man, list me. No Bart.
Real talk.
360.
Real Talk 360. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How y'all doing tonight?
Real good. Real good.
Hey.
Yo, my name is Jamel Lai. This is 119 Media Group, and you're on the podcast of Real Talk 360.
Yo.
We got a full house, man. We don't got even enough mics, man, so we got to share a mic. I know y'all probably think it's together, but that's how we get
That's
down.
exciting.
You know what I'm saying? No one's left out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Corey over there, rubbing that. We'll call him rubbing that today.
Like background singer.
What I gotta do?
Like Temptation.
What's good? What's good?
No
What's
matter what they
good?
call you, is what you answer to.
Yeah. But I need y'all out in the audience. You know, this is back to back.
Back to back.
We did one last night.
Yeah.
Now we back.
Back again.
Full crew.
Everybody.
Yes, and I need y'all to do one thing. Nikki, Angela, grab your phone. Everybody grab their phone.
Yeah.
Go to my page. It's either Jamel Lied or either it's 119 Media Group. And I need you to share this to your page, right? Yeah. And when you ain't got your phone yet. When you and when you share this to your page, or you can share it to your page and you like comment people's names that you want to see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. Now, as we always do about this time, on my left.
Oh, yeah.
This brother had to go get his leather.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yo, he had to put on his leather. Hey, yo, on my left.
Oh, man.
Oh, you gotta get his phone. On my left.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Coming from Timminsville.
Hey, it's me, man. Hey, representing Timminsville, one stop light, but everything popping, man. We great. We great in our own space, man. We great in our own space.
Man, tell them what your grandmama name was.
Hey, Ella May. I represent the McAllisters, man. Ella May Bacote. You know, she was a Bacote down in Evergreen, but we represent the McAllisters, man.
And on the left. They call him.
The left.
Hey, I'm in the building tonight. It's Mr. 973 to the 843. I'm back in the building.
Yeah.
AKA DJ Not Famous, AKA the Pie Guy, AKA everything. I'm back in the building for the night.
Oh, yeah,
The Pie Guy.
He gonna owe the studio some money, man. All that advertising. Hey, yo, and right from on the left and on his right.
One more again.
Yeah.
Marion County's own Corey Grant in the building.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Okay. And right from me on my right, from Darlington, South Carolina, rock the mic. That means get to the mic a little bit, come a little closer so we can hear you.
Uh-oh.
That's right. I am Angela Nicole McRAVIN, known to many as Nikki McRAVIN, right from the city limits of Darlington.
City
Represent.
Nikki.
So, Nikki.
That's me.
If y'all don't know her name is, if you ride around Darlington, and if you see signs, you might see hers. You will see hers. And she has the sign out there. I wish I could have brought it up. It says Angela McRAVIN, and it says the next city council lady in there that's coming to Darlington, South Carolina. The next.
You got to speak it. You got to speak it.
Let's give her some applause.
Confidence. The next. Yeah. That's right.
So, young lady, tell us something about yourself.
Listen, I am Darlington city limits, born, raised, spent the majority of my life there, live there now, have been. And that darling town of ours is where
Like what you did.
is so very close to my heart, dear to my heart. And I am passionate about our city and about the state and the direction in which it's going and where I want to see it go and hope that we'll go and grow.
Okay.
That's right.
We are the pearl of the PD.
The pearl of the PD. They know that.
That's right. But
So-
I said our pearl has lost its luster.
Oh, you're shining.
And I want these people to help me bring the luster back to
There
the
you
pearl of the
go.
PD by casting
Go ahead.
a vote
Hey.
on November 7th.
Come
man.
through.
Okay.
Come
Okay.
through.
So check this out. You're from Darlington. You've been in Darlington a long time. Happy birthday. We want to tell you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy
It was yesterday,
birthday.
but we're going to act like it's today.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I met her at Greenleaf in Darlington. That's that new cafe in Darlington. I met her at
right.
Greenleaf Cafe. Check it out if you can.
Healthy spot.
And she pulled up in the Odyssey. Okay. A person that drives an Odyssey is smart. A Honda Odyssey. The driver of Odyssey is smart.
Okay.
And it got a little change too. 'Cause they ain't cheap.
That might be one of the things, but that ain't the first thing.
So she came in and introduced herself, saying she was running for city council and some other things. I was like, oh, she all right, well spoken too. So I say, oh, it's cool, yeah. So she came in and she told me, the thing is, the day that we opened, right? I guess I was supposed to have her some gift cards, but really I didn't know how to make gift cards at that time. So I was doing the research. And I was like, you get them when you get the money back.
That part.
Yeah, man. So we got that together, and then she came and introduced herself and told us she was running for city council. Like city council, man, you know, it's we don't really get into politics, but we talk about politics. You know what I'm saying? And last night we had Curtis Boyd on, and the week before that we had Damian Prince on. And one question I got for you: why? Why do you want to get in all that? Why can't you just stay at home? Are you married?
Not yet.
All right. Why don't you just stay at home and kick it with your parents because you got nice parents? Why get in this mess?
I don't live with them, but anyway.
Okay. I'm just talking about go over there and kick it.
I've been attending city council meetings, county council meetings off and on, literally for a couple of decades.
Okay.
So always, I guess, sort of had an interest. I think what probably sparked my interest the most was way back when I moved out of their house. I had cable for a while, and you had that analog television with an antenna. No cable, so all you could catch was PBS and C-SPAN.
Yeah.
And C-SPAN showed a lot of, the state legislator and that type of stuff. And I was sitting there watching that, and it actually intrigued me. I learned a lot. I was like, wow, man, this is how they pass a bill and these things. And I felt more of an urge to really start paying attention even to my local government and what they were doing on that level. So, yeah, I started attending meetings because I wanted to see what was actually going on. And we don't always understand and know what's happening behind the scenes. You end up getting, or election time rolls around and you hear about people, but you don't really know what they're doing. It's like, are they doing anything?
Yep.
What happened? So when you start attending meetings, you really find out what's going on, how these things are going to affect you. And sometimes you might see some things that you might not necessarily like or feel like you need a little more input. So by doing that, as I said, I really wanted to find my place, figure out where it is I wanted to go, where I fit in this whole process. And this year, attending meetings really got me to a point of, I was like, yeah, it's time.
Was it
I
one
felt this-
specific meeting or an occurrence, an event?
Something that was in there that
sparked
touched you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was that a tug. Sometimes we don't know exactly what to call it. But a lot of people say, I believe in God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Now it's just the Holy Spirit saying, yeah, girl, go ahead and do this.
Okay. Yeah.
So I ended up going, said a nice prayer about it, had to pray on it for a while, not just a prayer, going to the Lord saying that's what I'm going to do and hoping that he'll back me. No.
Correct.
I had to wait to hear my answer, and he said, do it. And I went, okay, I guess I'm in it.
Got the message.
So here I am.
So you're going to be, because you got a good campaign and it just seems like you got an honest campaign to me. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be one of 6 people besides the mayor, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so you take 7 people, 6 people without the mayor. And like we was talking last night, so you're going to be one of those 7 people that's going to make a decision, a group decision, supposed to be in a group decision for 4,000 people, right?
Yeah. Actually, like 6,000 people.
6,000 people. That's what I meant to say.
Live in the city.
Okay. So
6,000.
with that being said, what kind of pressure does that put on you, or what kind of feeling when you get in when you get it inside you, when you say, I'm going to be the one responsible for these people or for the people, because a lot of people that you're going to do this for said there needs to be some kind of change.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely correct. There does need to be change. And I don't know, I feel a little bit different, but I won't say it's necessarily pressure per se, because
responsibility.
My campaign is based on being a voice. So I want to be a voice for people. Most people feel like they aren't being heard.
Correct.
You know, who do I turn to? Who do I talk to? Nobody's really listening. Nobody's bothering to ask. And as I've been out campaigning and canvassing the community, I'm asking people, what is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to see changed? What are your concerns? So I always want to be a voice. When I get here, I don't want to ever become a politician. I want to be a voice for people, because there are plenty of politicians, good, bad, and ugly, but I don't want to be the politician. I want to make certain I always have an ear for people, that I'm listening, and I'm that voice for those who are unheard and don't feel like they have proper representation. That's what I'm shooting for.
That's good.
For the voice.
All right.
That's good.
One more question I got for you, okay? So when you out in the community and you hear these voices, what are majority of the voices saying that stands out to you?
Well, in the last 3 weeks, since October 10th, I can tell you what they have been. It hasn't been infrastructure. It hasn't been the water bill. It has been, how can we keep my child, my grandchildren safe? You know, at school, in the community itself, you know, they aren't feeling safe. That child that got killed on a school campus, these children have been affected by this.
Correct.
They are not just affected, they have been traumatized.
Correct.
Even if you weren't at the school nearby, Mayo Magnet, for instance, those kids heard those gunshots.
Yes.
This is right up the street.
Yeah, right up the street. So they heard that. The children who were actually at the school behind it, at the alternative school, unfortunately, they put them on a bus, drove them off of the property while that child's body was laying there, and they had to see that. Now, that's some serious stuff. And you're talking about kids that are as young as 10.
It was poor planning.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
And then you've got the other schools who ended up, it was the rumor mill. They didn't know exactly what happened. Nobody really talked to them about it. So now they're afraid. They were already scared, because we used to do tornado drills and fire drills.
Yeah.
These kids now are having to do active shooter drills.
Yep.
I got a niece that attends the middle school, and I pick her up in the afternoon, and she was telling me how they had an active shooter drill that particular afternoon. And one of her classmates, she said, you know, they tell them to get under the desk, but the little boy basically had an anxiety attack and was telling them, be quiet, you don't want to get killed, we can get shot. And so he just broke down, was crying from a drill.
Yeah.
These kids are scared.
Okay.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah, and that's real heavy, right?
Yeah.
But it's so behind that when stuff like that happen, you can have a drill for a active shooter, but ain't nothing like it until you're in a room with an active shooter. Yeah. So you could say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to that door, and I'm gonna do this. And I bet you nobody, not taking up for nobody, but I bet you nobody at that school was knowledgeable enough or know what to do when you see a dead body laying there.
No.
Because of, you know, we're so insensitive to death, because you see it on TV, you hear it in the music. You'll see some people in places, there'll be a dead body over there, and they'll go around it. But how if you okay, when you get in your chair, right? How do you think? Because I know you probably don't know it, but you probably got a plan. I don't know. How do you keep your kids safe at school? Because I go pick up my son every day, right? And he goes to school in Darlington. But I think there's 2 SRO officers. I'm saying that.
It depends on which school. A lot of them only have 1.
Yeah, I see 2. What do you do? Do you bring the whole force over there at the school?
You know, that's one of those things that I tell people, we have to be, especially our community, we have to get involved. Not in every form of government. Your city council, your county council, and especially our school board. The next school board meeting, I've been telling parents, November 13th, 6 p.m., Smith Street. Smith Avenue. You need to be there. You need to be there. There was another incident earlier this week. A 5th grader brought an art knife to school. They say the child had a list of people he wanted to kill. Now, parents were not informed during the time this incident happened. It was afterwards, before they even let them know. We really, really have to partner with our school district, talk with them and find ways. Hey, is it that you need another officer? What can we do? If we can get proper funding for our police department, the sheriff's department provides SRO officers for the school district now.
Yeah.
But the majority of our schools in Darlington are in the city limits. So if we had enough funding, we could potentially provide an additional officer, when needed, if needed, at these schools. We have got to find a way to do things. There's fencing around the majority of the schools, but fencing is open all day. Yeah. Okay, so now what kind of protection is that when anybody can still walk on the campus? And I've listened to parents tell me, their child is scared now when they're walking from one building to the next when they see people from the neighborhood walking through the campus or walking even on the outside because they don't know what might happen.
You talking about that alternative?
No, at Mayo.
Okay.
Even at Mayo.
Well, yeah, because that's in the neighborhood.
Yes, same neighborhood. But they are afraid of that. You've got elementary school kids as well that are going, thinking, well, could this happen to us? Could there be a shooting over here? Well, how will I be safe? And parents, you know how to fix a wound, okay? Your kids scrape their knee, you know how to fix it. You know how to help them with the flu and how to make them well. But how many parents know how to deal with your child when they're facing this type of trauma and how to bring them out of their shell? Because a parent I met told me her son actually saw that young boy laying on that ground because he was at the alternative school. And so he saw him there, uncovered, before they took him to the middle school. He told his mom and his dad what happened, but they can't get him to talk about it after that. He was near her when she was talking. He heard her talking about it. He put his hoodie on over his head and dropped his head. Just, he goes into a shell. That child needs counseling.
Definitely.
That child needs some help. And as a parent, I've got other parents that say, I don't know how to talk to my child about this. They need reassurance. They need to know. So like this Saturday, for instance, I am sponsoring a fish fry, a Get Out and Vote fish fry. But I'm also having a counselor there who's going to be able to provide information for any parents about what to look for signs of anxiety, for depression. I had a family member that donated journals because kids need to get these feelings out. They've got all types of feelings and emotional, whether they are a writer and need to write it down, you need to draw. We've got crayons and art pencils to give to them. Or if it's through music, whatever it is, they need to be able to work those feelings out. And I don't have the answers to all of it, but I got someone there who's hopefully not going to have all the answers, but she's a certified counselor who will be able to provide at least some information to them and to help them bridge the gap. Something that they weren't able to get through the school district, but I want to be able to help provide that gap because our kids need it, our parents need it, and you've got to be able to do things like that.
And that's great.
That's good.
And that's great. And for the kids, that's great information, but for the kids that saw that need help, right? Mm-hmm. But what about the young guy who shot that guy? We need counseling there too before they even get to the community. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, "Oh, it happened at the school." You know what I mean? So it's in your face now. Yeah. But there's some kids at that school that it's in your face every day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now you have two type of counseling. They always say, right? Mm-hmm. What y'all say? Charity starts where?
At home. I was going to say that.
At home. And I know you can break this up in so many pieces, but there's counseling that needs there too. Like that little boy that bought that knife to school, he seen that somewhere.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
He's seen that somewhere. Now he bought it to school. Now it's the school problem, but he's seen that somewhere. Now I ain't gonna say he's seen that in the house, but he might have seen it on TV. That's why I say watch what your kids listen to. Now he might have seen it on Facebook. So to me, it's so many counsel. Like I was telling my son the other day, I said, if you wake up and you listen to rap music, right? And I'm a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? I love hip hop, but hip hop taught me something. You know what I mean? But now hip hop, you wake up in the morning, you listen to this. Somebody then got shot 5 times before you go to school in the music. What kind of day are you starting?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you done had trouble at home. You done listen to this. Now you bringing it to the teacher. She ain't ready to handle that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of counseling, and you right, man. We have to come together, but we got to start listening.
We do.
Yeah.
You know, we got to start listening.
You said 2 hard things, boy. You said come together and listen.
Yeah, we've been preaching come together ever since we got on this bar together.
But it's actually a third one too. The parents need to go out there and read, educate themselves also too.
Yeah.
Just like you said, she stated that most parents don't know how to deal with it, but educate yourself first if you want your kids to live.
Now check this out. We're in Darlington, right? One low, medium income, right?
That's right.
Now you said re-educate. There's a lot of people in the world. I ain't even gonna say Darlington. There's a lot of uneducated people everywhere. So if I'm uneducated, I'm gonna educate a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's part of the problem.
Hey, I had to go back to YouTube to show my son how to do math. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't do it, so I had to get him a tutor. But I was just able to give him a tutor.
Yeah.
So first, we have to realize what I had to realize. It ain't 80 no more, right? So the way you raise 80, you can't raise in 2023.
No.
I thought it was like, yo, and that, right? And that was gonna motivate you. But that shuts the kid down now.
That's right.
And that shuts adults down now too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it seems like adults are going back to acting like kids. Yeah, they want to be in the style of like kids. So how can you talk to a parent that
Is in the kid
just
mind.
got through listening to what their kids are listening to?
Don't see nothing wrong with it.
No.
Don't see nothing wrong with it. Because like you said, the gunshot, the actual shooting happened at the school.
Yeah.
But the concept of the shooting happened way before the gunshot went off.
Yeah.
So and it sounds like your platform is a platform of the community.
It is.
That's where
It
it
is.
starts. That's where it starts. We have to, and I'm not I don't, my vote will, I don't even get a vote, but I am telling you
Me
that
either.
you have to get a hold of the community and let them know that this stuff is serious. This is serious.
It's very serious.
Very.
I mean, it wasn't our community, but if you think about earlier this year, that 6-year-old boy, was it in New York, New Jersey or someone that shot his teacher,
Yeah.
took that gun and
Yeah.
shot his teacher.
Yeah.
Now, if he's 6
Yeah.
and knows it, somebody upset him, and he took a gun to school to a point where he was able to take a gun,
Great point.
shoot somebody. But if you look back and you research, that child, they said, had disciplinary problems before that. The child tried to choke a teacher.
Yep.
So now, what happens? What has he seen? Yep. What sort of environment is he living in?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to somebody calling and saying, okay, when this happened the first time,
This is unacceptable.
A trigger should have gone off somewhere, and somebody should have said, you know what, maybe we need to send DSS, CDC, whatever you call it in your area, to this home to see what's going on, because this child obviously has some issues and seeing some things that we need to take a look. That we've got to get back to a community and where teachers and the school systems cares about the child. And is concerned about this beyond a test score and how much money we can get.
Yep.
Yeah. Teachers scared these days.
Yeah, that's heavy.
You know what you said, DSS, right? Mm-hmm. And it just took me back when we ain't podcasting in a while, but DSS don't got no beds.
You don't got no what?
No beds.
Oh, beds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no space for kids. In the state of South Carolina, it was Columbia.
Yeah.
When they went to, they had the officer had a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Either let the kid stay there or take the kid to the county jail. So he said he just rode around that night. That kid would have to stay in the county jail until the next morning because they had nowhere to put him.
Wow.
They had the video, like a young dude had a video, went in and showed everywhere where the kids were where the DSS housing, sleeping on floors and things like that.
Yep.
Because they had nowhere to put these kids.
Mm.
But you see how it's messed up all the way around? Y'all didn't see the video?
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, because they talked about it on Sunday on the Big DM. I still call it the Big DM.
Always will be 101.3. Remember that?
And they talk about, and this was like in South Carolina. So it just looked like, man, if you ain't super strong in your community, not just your home, if you ain't super strong in your community, you're getting what we seeing now.
Well, we have to provide as a government. We have to end up providing some structure. Not every kid gets structure. We were probably blessed to grow up in a household where you had structure and discipline and parents that taught you this right and wrong values, and they set an example, because you can tell them all day long, but as a kid and even as adults, we do what we see done. We replicate that. It's not so much what you hear is what you see.
Correct.
So if they're living in an environment where they don't have rules and they're allowed to just do whatever, they need some structure. So now if we had programs, for instance, a Boys and Girls Club, a good after school program, now we can show them, we can guide them in a positive direction. They can see some positive mentors, some people who look like them, who've made it out of the environment, who've established whatever, if you want to call it success, or at least they haven't fallen victim to the street. And if they have, they are able to overcome that, and they can say, oh, I don't have to do that. But we've got to be able to provide them with that. And Darlington doesn't have that. We need a Boys and Girls Club. We got a Y, but they only accept kids, I think, up to like 12 or so. Well, we need a Boys and Girls Club. We need to be able to give these kids some place where they can go, where they need help with homework, where they can explore the arts, music, or whatever, so that they can nourish and their God-given talents can flourish. That's what we need to be promoting and what we need to be helping them with. But it's up to us to do that. You can complain all day long. Well, these kids they just doing anything. They don't have nothing to do.
So how do we do that? How do we do that?
You get that going.
How do we do that? How do we get a boys and how does any city that doesn't have one get a Boys and Girls?
How do you get the funding?
How do we do that? Do we need to? I know you said it starts with coming to the city and the county council meetings.
Get a grant,
right? You got to get that. You got to get participation. But what's the process? Do we need to make that an item for the city or county council? Do we have to make that an item that they're going to tackle? How do we make that an issue? How do we make that a priority for these officials?
Key right there, a priority. It hasn't been a priority for the council.
Oh, it's not a priority.
No, it doesn't affect them.
No.
The current council sitting there, the majority, it doesn't affect them. They're not worried about that. It's not their kid. It's not their community. It's not where they live. Yes. Okay. It's not where they live. So that's why what I am seeking is an at-large seat. So now when you're in an at-large seat, you're not just one particular district. It's not one area. You're the whole city. So you've got to look out for the entire city, not just for your little neighborhood, but the entire city. And when you can find positive influence and get them involved in positive activities, that affects your entire city. That's going to better your city. But if you don't want to fund it because you're thinking, well, it doesn't really matter, you're not going to worry about it. But it does affect everyone because it affects your crime rate. It affects the education as far as and how much funding your school district can get. It's easier to pull in residents and to get people to move to your city because what do you look for when you move into a city? You don't want you're looking at school district. You want to make certain that they've got good education. You want to make sure the crime rate isn't too high. Both of those could be alleviated or at least lowered if you had a place and an outlet for children that we currently don't have. So yes, you need some grants. You need to partner with some nonprofits until then and start these after school programs. Get people involved. The four of you gentlemen are absolutely perfect mentors for some kids, okay? I know you have children of your own, but if you don't, take on a few more. But you need a place to be able to do that.
That's true.
And I'm sure all of you would love to do that. True. Would love to take on some young men and be able to tell them, hey, and show them the ropes and help them not fall into the pitfalls that you did. But we don't have an outlet like that. So we have to find one and we have to make it a priority and not just say, well, somebody else will handle it. The decisions we make today are not only going to affect tomorrow, but 10, 20, 30 years from now. And the city needs a plan. Darlington doesn't have a 10-year, or 20-year, or 30-year plan. So you tell me we got a plan and I want the city to grow. Well, you got a plan. Well, the next person has a plan. Well, can we get a community plan? Can you bring the community in and say, oh, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to see? How do you want to see this grow? And then when you get everybody's ideas, you sit down and think about, how is this going to look 10, 20, 30 years from now? Is this a good decision? You know, how is it going to affect it? When we were in a contract, for instance, from a previous administration where they decided to put apartments over downtown, over the stores there, over those buildings. Well, the developer that came in did the renovations, but guess what? They call city apartments, but now the city and money off of it because we got to fix the things that are wrong with it. I got people calling me, telling me their apartments got black mold. Okay, can't even sleep in these areas because they're coughing so bad and got making visits to a doctor. But they're city-owned apartments, so to speak. But we paying for this, but we not getting any revenue because this company that did it, they getting the money. Yes, so now, what kind of contract was this? Who set up this deal?
Probably the relative of someone. Oh,
we have got to do better about our decisions and really focus and think about how these things are going to affect us. You can't just look at today. We've got to stop being reactive and be proactive. It's time out for that.
Yeah, and then those people who made those decisions to make that or spend that funding, I ain't even from Darlington now, but they need to be held accountable.
They need to be. Here's what I saw. Okay, so we had David Prince.
Damien.
Right? Damien. We had Damien Prince right last week, and he talked about very good candidate, and he talked about being a voice for the 6,000 people. Not allowing, understanding that 6 or 7 people can't make decisions for 6,000 people. Mm-hmm. We have you who said the same things similarly. Like, I want to be a voice for the community, bring the concerns of the community, listen to the community, and then put a community plan together to move the community forward, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we sounds wonderful. We spoke with the current mayor last night, and very polished, very well-spoken guy. Some of the things that I took away from that, though, was the fact that, and again, I don't have a dog in the fight, but what I took away from it was, so I have an idea, and I take my idea to Mr. John on the board, or Mr. Paul, and they agree with it, or they don't agree with it, or they give me their ideas, and then we go with. But none of it says what the community says. None of it. I got none of it.
Good point.
I got none of that. I thought what I thought was great. I think we need a trail, and I told Mr. John, and Mr. John agreed, and we got approved for the trail. I think we need a baseball field, and we're going to renovate the baseball field, and Mr. John and everybody agreed, and we got millions of dollars for the baseball field. But I understand that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. A lot of people play baseball in Darlington. I understand that. But the thing is it a microcosm of your community, what the community people ask for? Because at the end of the day, you are a servant. You are serving the people. You are serving the people.
Supposed to be.
And you're supposed to be serving the people. And there is no way that I can say I am serving the people and the people are crying out for help about safety. Everything, that's the root cause. Everything stems off of safety. If I can keep these kids safe, then I can go to work, not losing sleep, worrying about if my son or my daughter is going to be injured at school or after school or during the week going to the grocery store. Safety. I heard none of that, but very well polished. Very, very, very well polished. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I heard that interview. He said he felt safe in his community. He goes anywhere he wants to, him and Leon. I heard that.
Yeah.
Do a rewind.
Yeah.
He and Leon are safe wherever they go.
Who's Leon?
That's who he said.
He said Leon.
Oh,
yeah.
Doing the work or whatever.
And we said that's because you was a 10-degree black belt.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 5th degree.
Yeah. Yeah, we can run. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
well,
stay the course though. Stay the fight. Stick with the fight.
Yes, it is. That's why I say government transparency, and a good part of that is communication.
Yeah.
it doesn't cost you anything to have a town hall. You got a recreation department, have a call for a town hall. Say this is the issues we're going to talk about tonight. We want to know your thoughts. We're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z. What are your opinions? Yeah. I still say, it's 7 people, yes, who may come up with a good idea. But there's somebody sitting out there in that audience. There's another community member who has an idea where that they can enhance yours, that your good idea can become great. Yeah. But you will never know if you don't ask them. You will never know. So town forums, whether you want to call them town forums, town halls, just an open meeting just to ask questions. You can't do all of that, I understand, in a once a month city council meeting. No, but what is it to have an additional meeting once or twice a month to get the citizens' input on things? Because they are the ones who elect us. They are and I say us because I'm counting myself already. They're the ones who elect us. And if you are there to serve them, then you need to find out what it is that they're concerned about. Correct. Not just before you get elected, but the entire time. You've got to constantly go back to people. And if you don't want to have meetings all the time, you've got a Facebook page, you've got a website. Yep. Better utilization of resources. Yep. That's another one of my things. Utilize that stuff. Putting the information out there. Yep. Everybody can't attend the city council meeting on the first Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. People have to work. They have a life. But you can, after that, at least post, these were the highlights. Bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got time to read 60 seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah. And let them know. So then if they have questions, give them the email address. Give them, if you want to just set up just a phone bank where they can just call in and it's an answer machine and somebody go in and listen to it once a week to find out what's going on. That's not going extremely expensive for you to do that. That's very good. Those are things that you could be doing to let people know what's going on. Because as long as I feel like I have some input and that you want to hear me, I'm more engaged. Not only am I engaged, but I'm also more willing to either get on board with what you're wanting to do. Yeah. And to even help you with it. Even if it's not the way I wanted to go this time. The fact that you listen to me, I love it.
Yes. Yeah. That might make some. Go ahead, my father.
You're spot on.
So my question is this: like everybody at the table, I don't have a fight in this election either. No, I don't. First of all, I got no dog in the fight. Whatever situation.
But y'all don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, but
this is everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, this is everywhere. I mean? So this is what I'm speaking off of. I've been part of elections before back home, and I know how some city councils work. So what I would like to know is how you're going to prove to the people when you get elected that you're for the people and going to stay for the people and not turn into a politician, because that was one of your statements. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a politician. You want to always be for the people. How do you know that the pressures won't change you to become a politician?
Well, first of all, if we are able to do this government transparency, everything I do, the next person does, you're going to know it. That's the first thing. So that keeps you informed. And when I go out and I pray, I go home and I'm going to pray about whatever it is I do, whatever it is I say, because at the end of the day, yes, I have to answer to those constituents, but I got to answer to a higher power. And life's too short and hell too hot. I ain't trying to go. I'm not. So you really, I fully intend on living out my values, my mantra, and doing the purpose and fulfilling the purpose that God has for me.
Yeah.
And if you find out that I'm not, call me out on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that's it. Call me out on it. I'm even going to tell you, I'm going to explain, okay, maybe I didn't see it. Maybe what I thought I was doing the right thing. Maybe it wasn't. And I'm going to have to go back and say, okay, Lord, help me out with this. And then we will say a prayer and I'll get it right and say, okay, and accountability. Be accountable for it. You got to be accountable for it.
And, okay. And the thing is when you promote change, everybody ain't gonna like what you do.
No.
So there's only certain people that can sit in that position and not worry about what everybody else think, but still have the city in mind, put the people first. And I don't care what they say, man. Like you put your family. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna take care of my family. Mm-hmm. So now the city's your family.
Yeah.
And see, the reason that I ask that question is because if you talk to people about politicians, most of them think of them as used car salesmen. What's the name? Because reason being is because you know why? A lot of politicians make promises that they don't keep or they don't have the power to keep. So, for you to be the city council at large, you want to uphold the things that's near and dear to your heart. Like I said, it's great that you have great faith, that you want to promote change, all that stuff. So they want to make sure that you stay on that line of path that you're stating, and that you don't just get in office because this is your sales pitch. So that's why I said it's best for you to explain, hey, this is how I'm gonna go about it to stay on that line of path. So that's the reason why I asked them questions, because I've seen it personally from city council people from back home. I know that was friends. They had this whole sales pitch. And then when they got in office, they got lost.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I think for you to we're gonna say be elected as city council, that's something you have to prove to your people in your town if you want that type of change. Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely. And
can I get it for a minute? I get right back to you. But the one thing that I like I've been following her for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one thing I like, the stuff that she wants to change, she don't got to give her favor for. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got to do a favor for nobody. Can't nobody oppress her. The stuff that she want to change, the people
want. Yeah, yeah. The people got to.
So if I ain't going around and tell you I'm gonna make this out of I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna make sure they don't do this in your neighborhood. She don't owe nobody nothing.
Right.
A lot of people get in the chair, they owe somebody something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she could just, if she get her part is gonna be getting to the people. You know what I'm saying? She owe the people. She don't owe anybody. So as long as she get the people, the people are gonna go with her to get that money. And so I don't gotta go to Joe to get that money and promise you that promise you something that's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have it back.
No, I haven't made campaign promises. I'm not making campaign promises and telling you I can do this, I can lower that, because truth be told, I am one vote.
One vote.
One vote. And I gotta have at least 3 other like-minded people in order to make my vote really matter and get pushed through what it is I want to see pushed through. So whether you're the mayor or a city council member, you only get one vote. And to tell people that you can do X, Y, and Z, and that, I can do it. You can't do it unless you can get everybody else on board with it. And as far as government transparency and communication, well, you know what? If they don't want to do it, I got a Facebook page myself. I got Instagram myself. And if I have to be the person to put that stuff out there, when I attend meetings and good stuff happen, and if you look back on my page, I didn't just post the bad stuff. I didn't post the bad stuff. When they were Domestic Violence Month, I was there taking pictures. Posted, it's October's Domestic Violence Month. This is what we did. When they did a proclamation for the nights for the Elks, I posted that and said there are some good things that happen at council meetings, and I don't like negative. We've got to put out more of that positive information and not just see negative, because if you just look at some things and listen to some people, all you're going to get is some negative. And I can't live I can't live in that negative place like that. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but yes, I feel there is some good in everybody. I had an old lady tell me nobody's all bad. There is some good in everybody, and you've got to look for the good. If you're always looking for the negative, even in your relationship, if you only focusing on the negative, you're going to find it. Yeah. You're going to find it. And it's not only you're going to find it, you're going to end up being miserable because you're focusing on that. But you've got to look for that positive stuff and focus on the positive. We are more alike than we are different. And if we can find that positive ground, come together on that one positive ground, because basically we all want what's best for the city. We all want to see our city grow and flourish again. So instead of focusing on these couple of things that we differ about, let's find our common ground and go from there. And our common ground is we want what's good for the city. So put aside egos, put aside what your personal opinions about people or about a situation and about whatever, and focus on what's good for the city. It might not happen the way I want it, but you know what? We can agree to disagree. We can come up with the best solution, and everybody can benefit from it.
Okay. I might not got the ball, but we won.
Right. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I ain't scored, but we won.
We won.
Yeah, we won.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a man. Darlington is a unique town, man. There's a lot of good that comes from Darlington that goes unseen, and not from just. I'm talking about just like the people in Darlington, man. And to me, when you go down them streets, like when you go down Farm Street, you go down Lemon Street, you go down Chestnut Street. Years and years ago, there were values on them streets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And
I think that, and I ride by there and I look at the houses. I remember like, oh, that's Miss Harold them house, or go up there, that's Miss Proctor house. And to me, there's still values and stuff like that. We just got to, what they say, get right back to love, right? Love everybody.
That's the commandment. Yeah. Yes, Jesus loves us all, but the commandment was for us to love one another.
Yeah,
and we got to show love.
That's true.
You got to show love. Love is an action word. You got to put it into action. You got to show it.
But you got to, you know, people love to say hate so much. You know what I'm saying? Even when love is, they be, oh, you hating on my love or something like that. Like you said, if we can get the hate on there and just say love a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It would change. I think it would have, call me naive, but it would change. You know, I make people speak to me. You know what I mean?
I do too. I'm gonna speak to you whether you do it, whether you speak to me or not. I'm a good morning. Hi, how you doing today?
I hold the door. You know what I'm saying? Not just to make y'all walk fast, but just to, you know, just to say hi, man. But you know, if I watch what I say around elders. I watch what I say all the time, but still, I watch what I say around elders.
Yeah.
But if we could just get back to love and then respect and it starts with our own first.
Yeah.
We get back to loving each other and respecting each other and could go to the barbecue without a gunshot.
Yeah.
We'll be straight.
Yeah.
That's just my thought.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to what I say is kids don't always get that at home anymore. It's not, we don't have the village. Used to be, you know, grandma beat you and you do something over at aunt so-and-so house or at the neighbor's house. They beat you and your mom and daddy didn't have a problem with that. Nowadays you can't do that stuff. No. But if you had that Boys and Girls Club, that after school program, guys like you can teach those values to those kids, and they might not have learned it at home, but they're learning it now, and they can change their attitudes. They can change their values and their morals, and they'll have those, and they'll be able to reflect it in the community. It becomes reflective.
Yeah. So where you think you're going to put it at when you get it? Where you going to put it at? Well, I know you got a place.
Yeah, she talking about that Boys and Girls Club. That Boys and Girls Club covered the house.
There are so many, listen, there are so many options. That's why I say it is imperative to forge partnerships with the county, with the school district. The school district's planning on building a brand new elementary school. Brunton Dargan's been closed now for a few years. They're talking about spending $700,000 to demolish the school. Well, it takes $1 million to repair the roof. So why not just donate it then? And if you were going to give the $700,000, go ahead and give the $700,000 and let somebody else put the other funds with it to fix it up. Give it, because at one time they were talking about donating it to the city. I don't know if that's still, because I'm not in those meetings yet. But that's a perfect place. Or St. John's. They're going to end up closing St. John's Elementary. That's one of the oldest schools in South Carolina. It already has a gym. It has an amphitheater. There are classrooms attached to that gym. Man,
Big
there's a cafeteria.
Boys and Girls Club. Or on Timmonsville Highway.
You know?
That boys' home.
Oh, that burned, years ago.
It burned down.
Oh, it did?
Years ago, it burned down.
But I still be seeing it in the front. I could ain't seeing it in the back.
Yeah. So, those are places you got. The old Dixie, we talk about as well, housing and stuff. You got the old Dixie plate plant, because plate is at the end of the cup plant. I don't remember which one it is, but the old Dixie, that's another building that's going to be sitting vacant that we could be using for some good rather than just vacant, demolish it and starting all over. We've got to learn to better utilize your resources,
Yep.
repurpose things,
Yep.
think outside of the box,
Think outside.
and say, okay, this is what our community needs. Like I talk to those people who live around St. John's, because there's, all they're hearing, just like the rest of us, there's rumors about potentially making the old St. John's Elementary into some housing. And those people really don't want that. They don't want to see housing go into that school. I don't know if that's the best use of it or not. And I'm not judge that right now. But what I'm saying is that building, because it is a part of a historic district, you could do a museum, a Boys and Girls Club, and some things like that.
Yep.
You could use the old Dixie, since we purchasing property now, you could purchase that, and you could use that as some affordable housing or low income housing. You gotta think about stuff like that.
You have to. I agree.
You can't just go, well, we can just buy up some vacant lots and and let a developer put up a house. Well,
Oh, she was all on that podcast last night, dog.
There are grants. You need a good grant writer. You need to talk to, see about getting housing and urban development. There are so many options, and we just can't stay in this little box and think that it can stay the way that it is and maintain the status quo. We just cannot. It is time out for that. We so need to be proactive. We, unlike most other small towns across America, we have a NASCAR track that is accessible to us right there in our town. It brings tens of thousands of people to our little community twice a year. Twice a year we get these people to come through. We don't have a decent hotel for them to stay in. So where are they? They're going to Florence. They're going to Hartsville. I mean, they are packing hotels as far as Dillon to Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
We're not getting any of that tax dollars. We have a handful of restaurants who generally, I love them, but they struggle to handle just the day-to-day. So when you get that type of influx, that makes it even worse. There are few restaurants. So why aren't we doing something like having a craft brew and wine festival downtown? Florence has one, for instance.
Yeah.
We already have a shuttle. You shuttle people from the racetrack downtown. You find those vendors. You start planning now. You find those vendors. They pay a fee to participate.
Yep.
You shuttle these people. You have strategic places or businesses that can be open so that they can go ahead and card them. They pay for that wristband so that they can sample beer. These people have paid their fee. Now our shops can stay open a little late. So while these people are also participating in this festival, they can venture into the ice cream shop, into the dress shop, and they can spend some money, and we're generating revenue. We're generating revenue. And the more revenue we generate, that means the less tax burden on our citizens. We have to think about things like that.
I love it.
I just appreciate that she's solution.
I love it.
Oriented.
She got one. She talks about what's coming into Darlington and how we can capture that money. I love it. Solutions. I love it.
I got a quick question. I don't know too much about Darlington.
Southern
but
500.
so
Man, don't say that and they know you know me.
Southern
I mean,
500.
You making me look bad.
My apologies. I mean, the reason why is, I come into Greenleaf to go to Greenleaf,
Get out of Darlington.
and then go
Come
to
in and out.
Darlington.
Come on, man.
Hey, man.
That's what he said.
No, man. Hey, yo.
I don't mean
You
it
blink
like
your
that.
eye, you out of Timminsville.
Listen, I don't mean it like that. Like, I mean, what I've seen of Darlington, I just don't know much of history wise. What I was going to ask was like, I see that you want to put the Boys and Girls Club. I think that's magnificent.
Amazing.
My question is this: does it have to be in a central location? Is there like drama in the city where like certain sides don't go to certain sides? Like that's where I'm talking about more speaking. Or does it have to be in a central location? Like, could it be in one side of Darlington and not be an issue? Or that's the question I wanted to know.
I always thought
Typically,
I would
I know
always
what you're
try
about
to
to say.
put it in the central because a lot of people might not have kids. You
used
you
to
might
walk,
not be able to get there.
You used to walk to the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah. So if you could do things like that, make it central so they can get there, or a school can drop them off there.
Yeah.
It'll be. We can't put it way out in the country club. Ain't nobody gonna be there.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna get there. So
those locations that you spoke of, they are like in central locations.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
And my thing is, it doesn't have to just be that particular location or one of those locations. I'm just offering those as examples of things that we could be doing and could be using. For instance, we also need a domestic violence and a homeless shelter. Population for our homeless population.
That's what
is
the school
growing.
could be.
Yeah, the domestic violence, 1 in 3 women affected by domestic violence.
Yep.
We don't have a shelter in the city. We don't even have one in the county.
Yep.
So we aren't able to offer crazy, right? We aren't able to offer the needed services. When a woman finally musters up the courage to leave her abuser and she calls this number and and she's seeking help, you're going to have to call. They have to call Florence. If they have an available bed, okay, they can take them. But if they don't, they're going all the way on the other side of Wallace just to have a place for them. And it's just too much.
Yeah.
We have to be able to focus and to support our own citizens.
You flip it. So you saying sometimes they think they got to stay in an abusive relationship because we don't have no place to go.
Exactly.
So I got to stay and take it.
Yes,
Jeez.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not right. We
I
really
agree.
have. That's part of taking care of your community.
That's
and
right.
Finding resources and being able to, because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Man, shoot. Hey, Darlington, y'all better put a lady in that seat.
yeah.
Gee. That's all right.
So, what is your end goal after city council? Do you plan on and see yourself in the future as being mayor?
No, I called it the other day. When I called it for the podcast,
you
what did
said
I
that?
say? Congresswoman.
Congresswoman. McRAVIN. Nicky.
You know what she said?
Remember me? I'm going to say, Nicky.
You know what she said? I'll take it.
I was like, Nicky.
Do you have them plan? Do you have them future plans? Or no,
I don't say I have future plans. I say I'll
She gonna pray on it
As the Lord leads.
Yeah.
As the Lord leads.
That's it.
And I think she the type of person, she ain't think about that until she get this right. Till she get the home. She ain't going outside till she get her backyard right.
Yeah, because that
That's
resume.
good.
Yeah.
Well, check this out. My name is Jamel Lai. This is Real Talk 360. And today we had Nikki Angela McRAVIN, the next lady to be on the city council. I love y'all.
At large.
And closing
at
large. At large.
November 7th, make it happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, DJ.
Go ahead and take us out.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Polls are open on Tuesday, November 7th. Tomorrow's the last day to do your early voting, 8:30 to 5 at the voter registration office located 131 Cashua Street in Darlington. I encourage you to get out and vote, whether you're voting for me or whoever you're voting for. I, of course, want one of those check marks to be beside my name. You get to vote 3 people for council, 1 person for mayor. Your voice is your voice. It's your vote. It's your Darlington. Let's make it happen.
I love it. I love it.
Shine up this pearl.
All right. My name is Jamel Lai, and we out of here.
Out of there.